Hello and welcome to here, the internet, youtube.com, specifically my channel. If this is your first time joining me, thanks for giving me a chance. And if you're joining me again, well, you're stuck with me. We're bonded. You can't leave. Stay here, please. Hey, I know we're really early on in this video, but did you hit the like button? Because that'd be pretty neat. I would really appreciate that. Well, thank you. Also, if you subscribe to this channel, then you'll see every time that I put out a new video. Like this one, and the other types of things that I do. At the beginning of every month, I do this thing where I talk about the games that I've played in the previous month. This is all because I started 2020 with a list of 182 games that I own, but I still haven't played. This was a great way for me to stay focused on not buying more games and just playing the ones I already have. It was also a great excuse to make playing video games seem like a productive activity. In October, as part of my PlayStation Plus subscription, I got Vampire and Need for Speed Payback. They've been added to the list, so that's a bit of a bummer, but now I can try these games out without spending any extra money on them. So let's look at what I played in October. Before I get to the normal list, I wanted to mention that I streamed myself playing The Last of Us Part 2. I got it with the intention of playing it exclusively on stream, so I never added it to the list. But I have a lot of thoughts on it, and this isn't really the time and place for that, but I did want to say in short that though I enjoyed the game for the most part, I thought it was a bit long. There were a few points nearing the end where I thought it was over, and then it just kept going. And then I thought I finished, and it kept going, and it just kept happening. So the ending was a bit frustrating for me in that sense, but I still thought it was a good game overall. Anyways, I just wanted to mention that real quick. So let's go back to the normal list. I thought it would be a lot of fun to spend October playing a bunch of spooky horror type games. You know, because of Halloween. But then I got anxious, so I didn't do it. Instead, I started with Superhot: Mind Control Delete. This is a first-person shooter where time moves when you move. The sequel is longer, and it adds multiple powers, features, and weapons to the gameplay style that was established in the original game. I loved the original Superhot, and I loved this one too. For the first 2 hours. It was just kind of long, and it dragged on. The story is that there's no story, which seemed really clever at first, but then as it moved along, it just got repetitive and kind of irritating. At the end of the day, I mostly enjoyed it, but I'm glad it's over now. It really wasn't that bad, but it did a poor job of holding my attention through to the end. Next, I played Indigo Prophecy, or Fahrenheit. This game was created by the same people behind Heavy Rain and Detroit Become Human. It was made many years earlier and isn't nearly as good. It's a game that's like one of those interactive movies, which is fine. But in this case, the QuickTime events were like one of those old electronic Simon games.
What does it feel like to play, Simon? You gotta look! Listen! Remember! You gotta react! Repeat the sounds and colors. Think fast! What does it feel like to play, Simon?
Intense!
Simon from Milton Bradley, a challenge intensified to the max!
The game's story and dialogue are also inconsistent at times. Like there's a point where Lucas is talking about how he got possessed in the beginning, and he's telling his brother about it. And how he says that he saw everything happen, he just wasn't in control of his own body. So then a little bit later, his brother asks him if he did murder the guy, and he says, "I don't know, I blacked out." So which is it? Did you see it all happen, or did you black out and wake up in your apartment the next morning not remembering anything? You can't have it both ways.
It happened in a restaurant last night. It's like I was possessed.
in a sort of trance, like I was a puppet on a string. I saw what I was doing, but I was powerless to stop it.
My God. This murder. Exactly how did it happen?
Well, after work last night, I stopped at a little diner to get something to eat. I read a book at my table, I think. And after, it's just a black hole. I don't remember anything. Right up until I found myself in the toilets with a knife in my hand.
There were multiple cases of this kind of dialogue inconsistency, and it's frustrating. Anyway, you play as Lucas, who in the beginning is possessed and murders somebody. So now, he needs to figure out what happened and what's really going on, all while the police is on his tail. The story concept is pretty neat. Took a pretty hard turn from like a fantasy thriller into a sci-fi action story. I don't know. It was fine, I guess. Third, I played Burly Men at Sea. This is like a point-and-click adventure game, but it feels a lot like a storybook. You play as 3 burly, bearded sailor brothers. Ooh, boating, okay. You play as 3 burly, bearded boating brothers who go on a big ol' adventure. The art is beautiful, and the story is cute and charming and really clever. It was funny, and I just had a lot of fun playing it. That's all I'm really going to say about it, because I think that it's better to experience firsthand. I know I would have been disappointed if I had aspects of the story spoiled for me. And last, I beat Saints Row Gat Out of Hell. This was my first experience with a Saints Row game, and I definitely feel like I'm missing something. You play as Johnny Gat, or Kinsey Kensington, as he goes to hell to save the President of the United States from Satan. I enjoyed it some, but I caught myself waiting for it to be over more than I was really having a fun time. I finished 4 games from my list in October, and this brings me down to 165 games remaining. I should be really pleased with the way this month went, but I didn't really enjoy most of those games a whole lot. So, though I did finish 4, I just feel like I'm lacking something. So here's to hoping that November brings me games that I enjoy a lot more. If you liked this video, hitting the like button makes me feel really good about myself, and it shows me what you're into. Also, if you subscribe to my channel, then you'll see every time that I put out a new video. Also, if you share this with your friends, then more people will see the stupid stuff I make. Anyways, I really appreciate it, but that's it. So, go away. Get out of here. Get!